Djibouti's government was in London to drum up British investment at the first ever trade forum between the tiny African state and the UK, as its president and senior ministers tried to convince firms that Djibouti is politically stable enough to invest in. Protesters gathered outside the building to voice concerns over the country's political prisoners, allegations of electoral fraud and widespread poverty.
There was an election held for the parliamentary on 18th of February, which is the opposition won US and its 6 parties, and we actually won and the government denied, and this is why he was the spoken person of the USN. He's been jailed, and some religious people as well is been put behind the bars, which is they actually claiming that there have been terrorists, which is never happened, in Djibouti history.
Business fears political instability and the risk it brings to investment. The Djiboutian government was at pains to convince potential investors in the UK that reforms are underway. Plans for a commercial court based on the British model are being drawn up to help fight corruption. Ilyas Dawaleh, Djibouti's economy and finance minister, insisted that the country is moving towards a fairer, more democratic electoral system, despite what the protesters and opposition parties are saying.
Have you ever heard about any opposition from Africa congratulating the winner? We have never seen it, and this is unfortunate.
We do hope, as we shifted from the president initiative, from the government initiative, from the model of first past take all to a proportional elections model. This is the first time opposition can organize as a group and can propose laws, can invite any ministers for any kind of problems raised. They can just simply bring him on the commission, ask whatever questions they require. This is the kind of the move which is happening in Djibouti.
The protesters and opposition are unconvinced by the Djibouti government's claim that it is pursuing democratic reforms.
Firstly, we want people to have freedom, a lot of changes, and not to put anyone who has committed any offences to be put in jail. We want a lot of changes, like we want freedom, humanitarian right, we want more education, we want people to open their mind or open what they have inside their mind to choose, who they want to vote for.
The finance minister urged for patience and political unity as the purported reforms take place.
As long and as much as Djibouti development requires, means it's a continuous process in reforms, and we are very much committed under the leadership of the President and under our own young generation of leaders to continue in boosting the country to another level of development. We have only one enemy in Africa, common enemy, it's poverty. This is our target.